Yeah, just quick and.
But you said you wanted to leave. Were you staying for the whole service or not? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're just.
Well, it depends on how much I interrupt her.
We have a stove in Cafe Or.
That I knew, but it's like we're running to put our pot of soup on the stove.
You can put it on Cafe Or.
In Cafe Or, and then we'll bring it over before, because we're gonna. Are we online already?
Yeah.
Ah. So just go with the flow, Mary. And don't sweat it. Yeah. I thought I was there. Okay. I'm gonna wear this.
My mother did the same thing.
Super Shabbat Shalom. Look, Mary's already started. That's wonderful. We have great soup, great spirit, and we begin our Shabbat. Matovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Shevet achim gam yachad, hine matovu manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad, hine matovu manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad.
Well, Rabbi Chesson. Rabbi Chesson.
Okay, hang on, everyone. Yes, Rabbi Israel.
Did you know that the Jews came from New Amsterdam to trade in the Delaware Valley in the early 1650s, long before William Penn founded the colony of Pennsylvania in 1682? The Jews were already there when William Penn...
Did they play football?
Well, I can't answer that question because Jews, while there are a few that play in the National Football League, we are not the dominant people of the National Football League. But the permanent Jewish settlement began in 1737 in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania with the arrival of Nathan Levy and his brother Isaac, who joined...
Were they quarterbacks?
They in fact quarterbacked a successful mercantile firm for shipping import and exports.
Ooh.
And the Grants brothers, who came there a little after them, made a prosperous business in Pennsylvania, The Jews were there. The Jews are there.
So that means I should be for the Eagles.
Well, but Rabbi Chesson,
Wow.
as early as 1839, several Jews had found their way to the settlement of Widenet, Missouri, which was not renamed Kansas City until 1889. Among the earliest Jewish residents were Herman and Benjamin Gantz, Henry Miller, and Louis Hammerslag. And during the Civil War, 12 Jews served in the local home guard.
Wait, how many people are on a football team?
11.
12, so we have one extra.
Yeah, well, there's a penalty for 12 men on the field.
Oh!
So yes, there were, and there was in fact another Jewish Lieutenant Colonel Reuben Hirschfeld, who was the commander of the nearby Fort Leavenworth.
Fort Leavenworth.
What a funny Passover. Passover's not for another month, Rabbi Chesson.
We're supporting Kansas City. And so whomever you are on the side of, let us open with the kindling of the Shabbat candles. And we have sextuplets and half a team.
There's 11 people on a team, Rabbi Chesson.
Well, what's 6? Like the defense, the offense, what? Whatever. We have the quads here and Livy and Olivia to come light the Shabbat candles. We are asking the offense, who are not offensive, to come usher in the Sabbath.
They can play both offense and defense like a good high school football team. Amen.
Amen. Are we ready for a baruch? We rise for our call.
But Rabbi Chesson.
Oh, wait, don't rise yet.
But
No,
Rabbi Chesson.
There's more.
There's always more. She's trying to silence me even before I get to the good stuff.
It's not half
The
done.
first, Rabbi Chesson, the first Jewish organization in Kansas City was, do you know what is typically the first organized Jewish thing in any city?
Deborah Kadisha.
It is, in fact, a burial society.
Burial society.
Because where there are Jews, there are, in fact,
death.
dead Jews. So we need to be able to bury them. So in Kansas City, the Burial Society was found in 1864, and 3 years later, the local chapter of B'nai Brit was formed, and the first synagogue, B'nai Judea, was established in 1870 as a Reform congregation, and B'nai Judea opened the city's first Sunday school in 1880. So for all you Sunday school kids, you could have been in Sunday school since 1880. The city's first Jewish social group, the Progress Club, was established in 1881. And in Philadelphia, Jewish communal life dated from the 1740s when Nathan Levy secured a grant of ground on Spruce Street. I don't know if you know where Spruce Street is, but it is between 8th and 9th Streets for none other than a cemetery. For a cemetery. Informal services were also conducted in the 1740s, but it's probable that no organizational structure existed until 1761 when a Torah scroll was borrowed for the high holidays from Shereth Israel congregation of New York City. They rented a house on Sterling Avenue, and after 1771, a building on Cherry Alley, and the oldest document
The
utilizing the name of their congregation, which still exists today, Mikveh Israel, dates from 1773. It predates the Eagles, Rabbi Chesson.
When was the first Jewish football team in Philadelphia and Kansas City?
I await that day.
So let us rise for the call to worship, and we will prepare to be a team.
Et Adonai
HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam vaed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam vaed. So the question is God rooting for the Eagles or the Chiefs? And the idea, or whatever, yeah, you're red for the Chiefs. I see
I'm still rooting for the Bengals.
where some of us are still holding on for the real fans. Cleveland?
2024 is, yeah, there you go.
Eva is
Sound
in
like a true
Eagles.
Cleveland fan.
Eva's in Eagles turquoise, but it doesn't matter. There's one God over every team, and therefore we consider the oneness of God, the God of all of our teams, with the Shema.
Shema Yisrael,
Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kibod Malchuto Le'olam Vaed. And we are seated.
But the
Getting
Jews,
ready.
the Jews, no, Rabbi Chesson, it's my turn.
Okay. Something about Michamocha, right?
No.
Oh.
The Jews have been prominent dealers. Well, you can make it about Micha Mocha if
I'll
you
find
want.
a way.
Everything is about
Micha
freedom. The Jews have been prominent dealers in grain and flour, cattle hides, and meat packing in Kansas City, in produce, insurance, real estate, and in recent years, securities and banking. Civic and political participation by Jews have been significant for many years, and several Jews were on the Board of Trade as early as 1869. From 1904 to 1934, Jewish aldermen and councilmen sat continuously on the City Council of Kansas City. And from 1932 to 1937, Rabbi Meyerberg, who helped found the Rabbinical Association of Kansas City, assumed a leading part in spearheading the long, bitter, and ultimately successful campaign against the city's corrupt, machine-dominated government. And
So that means we like Kansas City? or
yes, we
we're
got
not
rid
so-
of the corrupt government in Kansas
Okay.
City. But in Philadelphia, during the Revolutionary War, so we're going back a few years, Kansas City is a little farther west, so, you know. During the Revolutionary War, Jews were active as suppliers to the troops, as brokers to the government, and even as military figures. The highest commissioned rank achieved by a Jew during the Revolutionary War was Lieutenant Colonel, held by both Solomon Bush and David Franks. David Franks, that name may be familiar if you are a history buff and have read recent books on Benedict Arnold, because David Franks was the aide-de-camp of Benedict Arnold. Luckily, he didn't do any of the bad stuff. After the evacuation of the city of Philadelphia in 1778, after the evacuation of the city on the East Coast in 1778, Philadelphia became a center for Jewish refugees from Charleston, Savannah, and New York City.
Where they marched to freedom from the Deep South? I don't know.
Yeah, and New York City, where they had to cross the,
Through the Red Sea.
exactly, got to get over the Hudson.
over the Hudson and sang this song of freedom. La 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 Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh, Norah tehilot osef eleh, Norah tehilot osef eleh. Malchutecha ra'u banecha, bokei ayam lifnei Moshe. Ze'elianu ve'amru, Ze'elianu ve'amru, Adonai imo le'olam va'ed, Adonai imo le'olam va'ed. Chamocha ba'elim Adonai, Norah tehilot osef eleh.
Why are you all looking at me?
And we turn in our service to a prayer for peace.
But in 1926,
Okay. Wait. Is this Eagles or is this Chiefs?
Chiefs, Kansas City. In 1926, the Jewish Memorial Association was formed in Kansas City, and soon after it received a bequest of $200,000 for the erection of a hospital with a kosher kitchen. The building was first called the Menorah Hospital, and later the Menorah Medical Center when it was dedicated in 1931. That $200,000 turned into a foundation which has now given over $75 million since the sale of the hospital and the creation of the Menorah Foundation, which no longer oversees the hospital in Kansas City. Pretty good.
Go Chiefs.
Pretty good that they're giving away all that money. Maybe we can ask for some.
Are we ready to?
No.
There's
No, we are
more?
not. Because where there's a Kansas City fact, there is a Philadelphia fact. Philadelphia became the first city in the Western Hemisphere to break the pattern of one congregation or one community, one Jewish community per town. In 1819, Rebecca Gratz and the women from Mikveh Israel established the first female Hebrew benevolent society, the first non-synagogue charity in the country, which is active still to this day. And by 1825, the two congregations in Philadelphia had spawned a handful of independent benevolent societies.
And speaking of benevolence, we hope that there's benevolence and peace for all. And I have a Livy and an Olivia, right? Would you like to come up and help Mary lead Shalom Rav? This is a prayer for peace, so I think a little peace dance is in order. Livy, you can be the Chiefs or the Eagles. And Olivia, you can be the other one, whatever it is.
Thanks, Coach.
Sing, dance, peace, teams. Shalom, right? Shalom Rav.
Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon, Lecho HaShalom. Ki atahu melech Adon, Lecho Bechol HaShalom, Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tovei Necha Levarei Et Amcha Yisrael Bechol Eit Uvechol Shah Bishlomecha. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Let's march across the street. Do you want to do it? Will you want to do it? Will you march with us?
This is our football marching song.
We are marching and marching across the sea. 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 We are history. We are family. Point to someone nicely. I remember you. Do you remember me? Let's wiggle. We are wiggling and wiggling across the sea. 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 We are history. Point behind you. We are family. I remember you. Do you remember me? We are laughing with joy. We are laughing. We just got to the edge of the sea. Feel that joy. Let me hear your laughter. We are history. We are family. I remember you. Do you remember me? Clapping. We are clapping and clapping across the sea. 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 We are history. We are family. I remember you. Do you remember me? Put them together. We are marching and marching across the sea. We are wiggling and wiggling across the sea. We are laughing. We are clapping and clapping across the sea. We are history. We are family. I remember you and you and you and you and you and you.
You in Kansas City in the Chiefs and Bengals.
Do you remember me? Clap it out. One more.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And we take a moment to remember all of those who marched across the sea with us and laughed and wiggled, but who need a little bit of help and a little bit of healing and a little bit of strength, who need our prayers for healing and wholeness. because we made it together, but many of us need just that extra boost. Our Misha Berach prayer offers healing and hope for those who are suffering, those who are ill, and those who just need a little bit of boost with our prayers. Misha Berach.
Shabbat.
And let us say, Amen. Yishebeherach imahotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. And after our wonderful halftime show, we are now ready to turn to the Aleinu prayer, the prayer which reminds us that
The entire world is one.
Yes.
And that even in modern day Philadelphia and modern day Kansas City, there are interesting facts to know.
But
Yes,
there are
exactly.
two. Those are
Today,
two cities
many
and
of the
two
Jews,
teams.
today, many of the Jews of greater Kansas City have moved out of Kansas City, or the center of the city, and into suburbs such as
Missouri.
Overland Park, Kansas. Don't get me started on the fact that Kansas City is not in the state of Kansas, at least not the stadium. With a general population, or Jewish population, of about 160,000 and growing, Overland Park has become the new center for the Jewish community in the city, in greater Kansas City. And in Philadelphia. In Philadelphia, we have a Center for Jewish Studies. In addition to Gratz College and the Reconstructionist Rabbinical College, or RRC, which opened in 1968, there are several other centers. Dropsy University, affected by the rise of Judaic studies in secular universities, closed in 1986, but eventually became the University of Pennsylvania Center for Advanced Judaic Studies, or UPCAJS. Temple University, I had it, UPCAJS. So if you figure out a good way to say that, then you let me know. Temple University, by the way, not like, a temple, like Temple Beth Or, but Temple University, established, although I did once look at Temple University as where I was going to go for my undergrad, I didn't go there. Temple University was...
Temple Beth Or is the only temple for you.
Yes. Temple University established I grew up at Temple High, so it's a little bit hard for me to say that because that's where I grew up for, a long time. I didn't go to Temple University, okay? Temple University established the Feinberg Center for American Jewish History in 1990. The Philadelphia Jewish Archives Center opened in 1972, and the National Museum for American Jewish History opened on Independence Mall in 1976.
Go Eagles, for some reason.
If you say so. Should we do the Aleinu now?
Go Bengals. We turn to the Aleinu, which says that all teams are one, and we need Zeke to come up and open the ark, or is he already gone again? Hey, Zeke, will you open the ark for us as we rise for the Aleinu? Do you want others to help you, or are you're okay on your own? Looks like you got some buddies anyways. Hey, Zeke, are you for the Chiefs or the Eagles? He's for the commercials. Okay.
Watch your fingers.
Real hard, and then we'll get the light. The light of Temple Beth Or only lights when it involves we go. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'ateit gevila leotzeh breshit, shalo asanu kagoye haratzot, velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama, shalo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'nehemar b'haya Adonai, l'melech al kol ha'aretz, v'yom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. Please be seated
So
as we prepare for what?
as we turn our hearts to the Kaddish, to the mourner's Kaddish, and take a moment to remember all of those who sat around our secular holiday of the Super Bowl Sunday in years past, but are no longer with us for this Super Bowl and for this. Even when we are not celebrating a certain team, we still miss those people around our parties.
And some of us lost a little bit of our souls when the Bengals lost.
That is true.
All right, now you have to get it back.
But we take a moment to remember all of those who we've lost, to bring their spirit and their love and their laughter and their light into our world. We remember the yahrzeit, the anniversary of the passing of Anita Joy Feinstein Cochran, Charlotte Grosky, Sally Gurian, Edward Katz, Rita Schenker, Marvin Salgalnik, Betsy Spaeth, Don Kaner, Jackie Raymond, Dr. Edgar Alvin Slotkin, Badra Sroor, Robert Hessel, Louis Azrael, Fred Simon, Leon Schiffman, Gordon Kimbrell, Jenny Rain, Arnold Weiss, Cantor Joyce Uri Dumption, Dorothy Rosenbaum. In addition, we remember the recent passing and call their love and their light into our hearts, the recent passing of Judy Kell, Linda Troy, and just today, Jan Sherman's brother, Rob Schilling. We take a moment for these, the prayer of Mourner's Kaddish, as we turn and we rise together. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divrach hirutei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv imru.
Amen.
Yehei shemei rabba mevarach le'olam omei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei t'kudesha b'reichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'alma v'yimru.
Amen.
Yehei shalom rabba min shamaya,
v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
May the one who creates peace to reign in the high heavens bring peace to all of us, bring peace to all who mourn, bring peace to whichever city loses this weekend, and whichever city that wins. As we say together, Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. I don't have any more facts to interrupt, and frankly, I just want to eat some soup.
Yes, but just so that you let me know, our Torah portion, of course, speaks about the Israelites flying on eagle's wings, even as the chiefs of Israel all received the Ten Commandments. So no matter which side you are on this Shabbat,
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
And therefore, we have a Super Bowl extravaganza in Levin Hall. Many of you brought beautiful and wonderful soups, and we're all going to warm ourselves by these beautiful soups. So we need a quick Kiddush and Hamotzi, I think. So can we get our team up for Kiddush and Hamotzi? Team, all of you. Olivia, you want to be on the team? So, Kiddush first, but real quick.
Is the wine red or green?
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
The wine is in Levin Hall.
The wine is in Levin Hall, everyone. Yeah, you can all share it.
Zeke, you want to pull the cover off the challah?
Right. Zeke, you ready
It
for
doesn't
us?
matter. Somebody.
And by the way, that challah plate came from Kansas City, I will mention to you.
And then
It
the
did.
candlesticks must have come from Philadelphia.
It did. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon hudei.
Do we have a closing song?
Watch your fire. And Mahira tells us that Tree of Life works.
Let's get Steve and Libby and Olivia will come up and do it.
How about everybody will come up and do Tree of Life?
Everybody come over.
Come on.
Everybody come on.
Tree of Life. We'll figure it out.
Get up here. We want everybody. Libby, come on. Are you going to lead them in the hand movement? Show them what to do, Zeke.
Yeah, Zeke,
Remember?
you tell us what to do.
I'll do this, Zeke. You got to reteach me. It is the tree of life to those who hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to those who hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. Peace signs up high. Let me see them. Here we go.
Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom.
Who knows the Hebrew?
Eitz hayim hilema chaziti v'v'tomehecha me'ushar. Eitz hayim hilema chaziti v'v'tomehecha Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom.
Everybody jump up and shout shalom.
Shalom. And Shabbat Shalom to one and all. Please join us in our super celebration. Super. Super. It's a win. It's always a win. All right, do you mind turning that off, and then we can just go and enjoy. You guys can take that into the room, but we have more challah in there, but feel free to take that in.
Yeah, I did one of those for our deadline. Are you bringing that? Yes, you did. Let's go. That was my plan, was to get Sean in here, you know, because of his Jewishness. And before you run away, Rabbi, I have one more question.
talk about that on Sunday on
Well,
Wide
I
Open.
need to make coffee for my story time, and it cost me about $15, $20 to pay those, and I thought, why would I? And then, like, something back, oh, why not give that